Hello and welcome to my channel. This video is part of the Creative PowerPoint series, and in this video I want to show you how we can create some very subtle animation, maybe on a title slide, just working in the background as the slide is being displayed. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and hopefully by the end of it you'll be able to come up with your own ideas and do similar things. So to start with, I've got a blank slide here, and I'm just going to hold my control key down and use the wheel on my mouse just to make that slide a bit smaller on the screen so that I can see the outside. Now what I would like to do now is first of all put a background on. So we're going up to Insert, and then we're going to choose Shapes and just the straightforward rectangle. So click that, and then we want to make it the same size as the slide, so we just drag over holding the left mouse button down and let go once you've got it there. I tend to remove the outside outline, so come down to no outline, and I'm going to change the color of this. So shape fill, we're going to have a gradient, and I tend to go to more gradients just here. Then you get a panel over on the right hand side where I can choose gradient, and there's a few presets that you can choose, so I'm just going to choose one of them. Let's go for this green one here. Okay, right, so we've got our background. Now what we want to do is start to create something a bit more interesting than just having a title on the first slide. First of all, go up to Insert, and I'm going to select Shape, and this time I'm going to have the shape with the rounded corners. So it's a rectangle, rounded corners. Click that and just draw anywhere on your slide, because what we're going to do is once we've drawn it, we're just going up to this little arrow just above it and just spin it round a bit and drag it so it's sort of coming down at about 45 degrees. It doesn't have to be accurate. And then I'm just going to extend the length of it a little bit. And again, I'm going to take the outline off, so no outline. Doesn't matter about the color in this, to be honest. So we've got that, and then if you want the rounded corners to be a little bit more rounded, just go down to this yellow dot and just drag that in, and that'll round your corners. Now I want to duplicate this, so while it's selected, Control D, duplicate it, and then I want to just bring it next to it, but just move it up slightly, and you can resize the bit that's coming off the slide. So we've got a little gap in it. You can perhaps change the size of it width-wise, make it a bit smaller. Then Control D again, and we'll do the same, raise it up slightly, just reduce the size, doesn't really matter. There we go. And then another one, Control D, just reduce the size, maybe make that one just a little bit wider. Okay, now we're going to do this going the other way, so we'll start with the large one, Control D, and just drag that, and we're just going to bring that up very slightly and then resize it. Control D, do exactly the same. Control D, we'll have another one. I always just resize it because it keeps moving the slide. I'm just going to make that one a bit thinner maybe. Control D. So what I would like to do now is select all of them. So I'm just going to select the first one. Control A will select every shape. I don't need this background selected, so I'm just going to hold Shift down and click the background. So I've just got those selected that we've just put on there. And then we're going to group these. Come up to Group and click the Group button, and that makes it into just one picture rather than several different shapes. It's just one shape now. And then I want to change the fill. So if we come up to Shape Fill and come down to Picture, because we're going to put a picture here, and I'm just going to choose one from stock images for the purpose of this. You may have your own image that you would like to put in there, so I'm just going to choose this building. Insert, and you'll see what that does. Because we've grouped them, it treats this as just one image, and it puts that as the background image. So now I'm going to put something in the middle like a title. So we go to insert, text box, and let's put a title up here. Shall we put PowerPoint, then click the outside of the line. So this is called a placeholder, this text box, and we can maybe come up to shape format and we'll have a different shape. Maybe what one should we have? This one. And now I'm just going to go to the home tab and increase the size of that, so we've got a decent size. You can increase the size of the text box if you want, just so that you can make it a little bit bigger if you need to. Obviously we don't want that T dropping down there, so we can just come down one. There we go. And now we're going to maybe put a sub heading on here. Let's put one more shape. So we go to insert, text box, and what should we have? On course for success. And again, I'm going to just increase the size of that, put that underneath like that. Then if we want to, let's just see what that looks like. So let's run that PowerPoint, and there it is there. How much better does that image on the right look than just a straightforward image put on top of it? So I think that starts to make your title slides even better. You could even animate this. So if we click that picture that we've got over on the right and go to animation, we want this to fly in, so I'm going to click fly in. That's coming in at the bottom at the moment, so come up to effect options and we'll want this from the top right, so it sort of going in the right direction. So now let's run that slide and that comes in automatically. Something like that, I wouldn't be doing this on click. So if you click your picture that we've got coming in and change this from on click to with previous, so when we now run this, it comes in straight away, and there is a really nice title slide. But we can do much more than this, so let's take this to another level. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this slide. So if you just go over to the left hand side, start to drag it down, but hold your control key down, and that will copy it when you let go of your mouse, and then you can let go of your control. So I've just got to make a few adjustments to this to allow us to do what we want to do. So first of all, PowerPoint text. So let's clear word art. So we've now got PowerPoint on its own, and what I'd like to do is just go to our home tab. I'm going to change this to, what one should we have? A nice bold one I want. Maybe Arial Black is quite a nice one. Let's just move that over a bit, and then this one, on course for success, we'll do the same. We'll make that Arial Black. Maybe we'll stretch it out slightly, so let's have very loose. I don't want it going over this shape here. So there's our title. This shape, I'm not worried about the picture. We're going to put that in again in a moment. What we need to do is click the shape. Now we group this together, so I'm just going to ungroup this. So let's go to picture format and ungroup. So we've now got that ungrouped. What you need to do is, I'd like to take that shape that we put for the background and click that first. Always click the shape first, and now hold your shift key down and select the other shapes that we've got there. So that's those. So we've got the shape selected. Now what you need to do is come up to shape format at the top, come over to merge shapes and subtract. So what that's done is just cut those shapes out of that background for us. Now we're going to do the same with the text, but before we do, select the text and just Control D to duplicate, okay, and then just move that duplicate out of the way. It doesn't matter where you put it for now, we'll bring it back in a moment, and we'll do the same with our little subheading that we've got there. Just Control D and just drag that out of the way, and again we'll use that in a moment. So now we're going to do the same. We're going to cut this out, so click your background first, that's the rectangle in the back, then hold shift down, select your text placeholder for both of them, and then come up to merge shapes and subtract. So basically you've now cut all of that shape out of the background. Now what I'd like to do is bring this PowerPoint text and place it exactly over the gaps or the PowerPoint that's underneath it. If you have a trouble lining it up with your mouse, you can move it up and down with your arrow keys, and that gives you a bit more accuracy. And we'll do the same for the other one. Just bring that over the top, and I'm just going to line it up exactly, as exact as you can get. That's it, that should do. Now what I'd like to do is have a shape outline. You want a text outline. So for this one I'm going to have red, and then for PowerPoint, again it's the text outline, we will have black, which you can't see at the moment, and I'm going to make that weight up to say 3 points. Now what we need to do is have a text fill of no fill on both of these, so select them both, and then a text fill of no fill. Now what you can see is the white underneath, and you've got like a border around the outside of each letter. That's our preparation. Now for the fun bit. Now what we're going to do is go and get that same picture that we got just now. So I'm going to go up to insert picture, and I'm just going to use stock images again, but you could use a photo from work or home. Click the photo you want and insert it. Now I want this photo the same size as the slide itself, so you can either increase the size of it to start with so it fits it, but what I like to do is come down to crop, aspect ratio, and let's go to 16:9, and then click crop again. Now I can make that exactly the same size by just enlarging it, and it's the same size as the slide, but of course it's now covering everything. So what you need to do is go up to your picture format, come up to send backwards and send to back. So now you can actually see your picture behind all those cutouts that we had. But of course, let's just run that. Let's just run that one so you can see it. There it is there. Really nice looking, and you could just leave it like that. But this one's all about some subtle animation. So first of all, let's go to our animation. And what we want to do is we need to make sure that we've got that picture selected. The way to do that is by going to your home tab, and then up here you've got select, and if you come down to selection pane, that'll give you all your items, and then you can make sure that you've got the right one selected. So you know, at the moment I've got text box, a couple of text boxes there, so I'm going to click this one that says picture 18. You can actually rename these if you've got lots there, so that ensures that that picture is selected. Now we're going to go to animation, and we don't want that to come in, we want this to animate while it's there. So I'm going to choose grow and shrink. So we've got grow and shrink, and you can see that just growing in the background. Let's close the selection pane down and open up our animation pane by clicking animation pane. Then I'm just going to right click on this one animation that we've got and go to effect options. So this is where we're going to make it fairly subtle. So first of all, I want a smooth start, so just bring that up a bit, and a smooth end. I don't want it to bounce. I want it to auto reverse, so it comes in and then goes back out again. So we've got this on 150. The timing, I want a delay of about 3 seconds, and then the duration is extremely slow. And then I want this to repeat until I click again. So let's click OK, and that should start to expand. So let's see what that looks like. So we've got a little delay, and then that starts to subtly grow bigger in the background, and you can see it's happening to everything, all our text and our shape over on the right hand side. Once it gets up to size, that should go back down because we asked it to repeat. We've got a little delay, and now that's going back down again, nice and smooth, nothing sharp and quick. So you could have this slide, this title slide, just as people are coming into the room, and you've got something to start to get their attention, because we've got a little bit of movement there, nice and subtle. So the first one we animated, let's just run that for you. That's where this comes in. Do that again, that just comes in from the top right. The next one, we've got our slide, nothing really happens to start with, then it starts to move very slowly in the background, and we've got a nice bit of subtle animation going on. It expands up to 150% of its size, and then when it gets there it has a little pause, and then it starts to go back to its normal size, and that will repeat until you go to the next slide. So you've just got something subtly happening in the background. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and gained something from it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss future videos on Microsoft software. And if you did like that, please give me the thumbs up, it does help the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.